All right. Good afternoon, Simeon. It was nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me on this podcast here.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well, Kevin.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, look, I'll jump in. I'll give you an introduction of myself and what I do, and then kind of a quick background of my history, because it'll take the entire podcast session if I go through the entire 30 years of it. But I'll give you the quick gist, and maybe you can jump in with an intro. So, Kevin Topdjian, Energy Arbitrage. I've started this agency in helping different types of commercial industrial clients, kind of look at ongoing issues regarding energy in general, right? Overall in energy. My background is has been in energy. I've been in the kind of the oil and gas energy space for almost 30 years. Different companies, acted in different roles. I guess I'm more of a commodity expert. I understand the markets, understand what drives the markets, and then how to utilize technology to optimize some of that, for clients that don't really have that knowledge, right? So that's kind of been my background. And anyway, I'll open up to you. Maybe you can give me a little background on yourself.
Yeah, so I am currently a master's student in
Excellent.
aerospace engineering at Texas A&M, and
Oh,
I
really good.
just graduated with my undergrad in the same field at University of Minnesota.
Excellent. 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 Well, I was living in Houston for about 3 years, just so you know, when I was working for BP. So and then I think A&M is College Station, kind of on the
Yep.
north side. Yeah. So you guys have been having a good football year.
Yeah, we've had some great victories so far. I've,
Yeah.
I've
Right.
definitely had some nights where you just hear the cheers throughout the entire
You're right.
campus.
Right. Right. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Good. So great. So here's the bit. Maybe you can kind of give me an insight. What's your role? What are you trying to achieve here? In terms of your venture. Yeah, I know you're still you're a master's student, right? You're in the engineering
Yep.
field. That's great. But I know you founded Zygos. Maybe you can tell me about that and dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my venture is Zygos. It's a startup that I founded after my freshman year of college.
Wow. Okay.
Um, Essentially, I had a realization after, an entire elementary school, middle school, and high school of pain and just being angry at all the workload I was having to do.
Mm,
I had the realization that among the time that I was spending in STEM classes in general, but especially with math classes,
mm,
I was only actually learning for a very, very small chunk of time out of what I was putting into it.
mm,
And I'm defining learning as any time that you're actually able to measurably show a difference in your ability to do these problems or understand these topics before or after like a certain session of time. So so that realization led to me basically asking the question of, well, in what chunk of time are you actually being productive then? And I concluded that you're only really being productive with your time in these classes when you're actively doing problems yourself. And a huge part of the issue with this efficiency is in just how much time you have to spend in lectures before you can even begin to do your first problem. Just because there's so many different things that you have to already kind of have laid out to be able to actually go forth and do a homework problem for the first time, do a test
mm,
problem for the first time.
mm.
So my idea was, what if you could start doing problems yourself, being in that active role within the first couple of minutes of learning a new topic, as opposed to after hours and hours of taking notes and then reading through them and then frantically searching around the internet and texting your friends trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm.
So that's what Zygos is. It is an interface for learning where it watches you as you solve the problem actively on your
Okay,
device.
I see.
And it knows what step you're on, it knows what the next step needs to be, and it's able to guide you through that process to hopefully get you to that point where you can do your first problem in a couple minutes as opposed to a couple hours.
Okay. So tell me more about that. So let me follow up with this. How does it integrate with your device or, your computer, laptop, whatever, iPad, whatever it may be, to help you guide you through the learning process. How does that work?
Yeah, so it's an app on it's an app on touchscreen devices, so
Okay.
iPhones, iPads, and then we're coming
Google
out to
devices, all that, Android. Yeah.
yeah, we're coming out to that soon with a
Mm,
port.
mm.
Um, yeah, so the idea is that you have your equation display out in front of you, right? It's a
Okay.
problem. It's worded and phrased the same way that it would be on a piece of homework or on a
Hmm.
test.
Hmm.
And you are dragging around and moving around elements of the equation to solve it in a way that helps you visualize it and just helps you remember relationships.
Oh, yeah.
So when there's a certain thing that needs to be manipulated or changed or moved, it's going to highlight, it's going to have something showing you what direction it needs to move, and you're actually like rearranging the equation like in real
Equation.
time. The
I see.
equation. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I took Cal 1, Cal 2, up to Cal 2. You've done much more than that, but I did up to Cal 2 back when I was an undergrad years and years ago. So I know a little bit about it, and trigonometry and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously more advanced mathematics, obviously, right? So, all right.
Yep. We started with Calculus 1, but we have
Mm.
every intention to expand into basically all math and then science fields, so chemistry, biology, all
Biology,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Okay.
Um,
So is it
yeah,
is,
because
is it like a tutoring tool, I guess, in some way? It's not going to give you a cheat sheet. It's not somehow, helping you, giving you the answer, but it sort of, kind of guides you, I suppose, or gives
yeah,
different scenarios, right?
it's basically a digital tutor. So we have
Mm,
multiple modes of it. There's one where it's basically just a fully like an algorithm is just running through the solution and it's
okay,
pre-programmed. And then
I
there's
see.
other modes where you have a large language model interfacing with it, helping to provide you as the user hints.
Mm,
Um, digital tutor. So you're
gotcha.
doing the problem. Your device is watching you do it, and it's guiding you through the process.
Mm. How many users do you have on the app using the application currently?
We're
Active
coming up
users.
on about we're coming up on about 10,000 users right now.
Okay. Wow. And
So
you're
we're growing.
nationwide. You're going nationwide, of course, right? On the App
We
Store and
we
whatnot.
yeah, we're out on the App Store.
Mm.
We actually have users. We spread out across the world pretty evenly, actually. So
Okay,
we actually
globally.
have
Okay.
users in 150 different countries, despite
Wow.
being at about 10,000 total.
Okay.
So about half are in the U.S. and then half are all over the place.
And it translates into other languages, I assume. The app does that.
It's
Yeah.
in English right now, but that's definitely something that we have been setting stuff up for to be easily translatable in the future.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yep.
And how big is your team? I mean, this is impressive. I mean, at a young age you started this thing.
It's
So how
two
big a team?
founders.
Yeah.
Two
Okay.
founders. Both of us are technical.
Yep.
So I do the front end. I do all the user interface,
Hmm.
the design. I was also the originator of the idea for Zygos,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in charge of the business. And then I have a co-founder that focuses on the technical back end, all
Right.
the different equations that are dealing with like predicting out what the solution needs to be and what the next step is and that kind of thing.
I see.
And then we have some freelancers that we use for things like our marketing, like social media and Android development.
I see. Okay. And this is interesting. So, you guys are all doing this remotely, correct? I mean, you're doing it from because you're on campus.
Yep.
But is your co-founder also in a master's program or what's he?
So I've known my co-founder since seventh grade. We went to the
Oh.
same middle school and high school,
Mm.
and then we went to different universities though. So he
Oh,
went to
okay.
University of Wisconsin. I went to University of Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So I
Mm.
was about a 4 hour drive, but what I would do, what I would do is almost every single month I would make the drive down to back home,
Okay.
where both of our families, are, and
Hmm.
we would do in-person meetings, and then the rest of the time it would be all virtual meetings.
I see.
So
And are you both from Minnesota originally? You guys are both
we're
from
both we're both originally from Wisconsin.
from Wisconsin.
Although
Got it.
although in
Okay.
my early life I was born in Beijing, China, and I
Oh,
lived there in
wow.
my elementary school days.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. My early days, I was born in Lebanon, Beirut, but yeah, many many years ago.
Yep.
Very well. I graduated UCLA back in 1997. If that says anything to you. So that was from my undergrad. I got my MBA afterwards, but okay. Well, interesting. So, what prompted you? I mean, what are some of the kind of, well, let me ask this question. What are you seeing in terms of your next steps? Well, how do you see things shaping up in the next 6 to 12 months for Zygos? Where do you want it to
Yeah.
go, right? Yeah.
For me, the way I kind of gauge myself and orient myself
Mm-hmm.
is always to our long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
Our long-term goal is to reduce the amount of time that every single person on Earth spends learning math
Mm-hmm.
from a couple thousand hours to a couple hundred hours.
Okay.
And so every decision that we make is with that in at least the back of our heads. So when we look at the market, right, there's obviously a lot of change in the education industry right now. AI has started to come out. People are starting to talk about how is it going to change things. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever we see someone pop up that seems like they're growing really fast, we ask ourselves the question: well, if this person or if this company is able to, or like if they reach their largest goals, will they solve the problem that we're trying to solve?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer 100% of the time is no, because I haven't seen anyone else that really seriously thinks that it's possible, or at least seriously is working towards reducing that amount of time at that degree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way I see this industry is that education is obviously extremely closely it's very closely controlled by um, mostly public institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
In most countries, that's kind of how it works. And so, a lot of the times when businesses pop up, they are trying to just do things like I think it's called a CRM, or LMSs, learning management systems. They're just trying to kind of augment it a little bit. Um, and no one's really taking the idea of efficiency seriously, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is really interesting because education is it's worth more than oil every year in terms of spending. So you would
Mm-hmm.
think that efficiency would be a major thing to optimize for, especially when time is the major cost. You have a billion people right now that are in schools.
Mm-hmm.
Those people, every single one of those people is going to spend thousands and thousands of hours. Like there's a saying that to become an expert in something, you have to spend 10,000 hours to become a master at it. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
average person spends 10,000 hours in school.
Right.
So you would think, you'd think that you'd be getting a lot out of that. So that is our ultimate goal, is to free up all this time that is spent on these fields that are considered to be universal and mandatory for everyone, so that
Mm-hmm.
they can spend more time learning new things. There's a lot of different subjects that I think that I would have preferred to have spent more time on when I was in school, and I would hope that in the future things they could be spread out a little bit, such as learning things like industry, learning the law a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
learning personal finance a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
um,
That makes
and
sense.
learning to debate and things like that.
Hmm.
So that's really what we
Maybe
try to
real life
focus on.
skills, right? Learn a bit more, and while you're in school, have more time outside of the STEM, kind
Yep,
of subjects, have more time. Now, is a goal of yours also to help students, kind of improve their test scores too, and their grades as well, and in turn, because it is a tutor, right? Online tutor, so
yep,
it's not just about efficiency. It's also, well, they'll understand the subject, be more of a subject matter expert, right? And
yep.
and and do better in any kind of examination, right?
Yeah, the definition of efficiency is being able to do the same amount in less time or more in the same amount of time.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I see that as the same thing that you're trying to optimize for.
I see. Okay, okay. And you mentioned it's interesting what you mentioned around you know the well so education is more spent on education, more on education, excuse me, than you spend on oil. What do you mean by that? I mean, maybe you can
The the
elaborate. Yeah.
total the total
Mm.
global spending on education is larger than the total market value of the oil, like the yeah, oil and natural gas, like energy sectors.
Okay, I see the market cap. I
The
see. Okay.
global market
Because
capital
I
in those
come
two
from that
industries.
side,
Yep.
that's why I asked that question. I was
Yep.
like, okay, I wanted to
Yeah,
see
it's
what.
like
Okay,
4.2 versus 4.7 trillion.
I see, I see, I see. Okay, now tell me this: your current state, so I get a sense. What's working well for Zygos, and what could be improved? What are you where are you struggling? Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Our
mean, it's
main
a general
priorities
question, but it kind of gets a sense of what's working
Yep.
well, and maybe where are you kind of struggling.
Our main priorities right now is just trying to expand what we cover. What we're building is a very unique type of interface, and as a
Hmm.
result of that, it's definitely a large task to expand into any new type of field. So
Hmm.
we did calculus one, and we've been in the process of expanding. So that's probably like our top problem that we're trying to solve is just getting our curriculum expanded out into most of high school level instead of just being that one class.
Okay.
Um, and then getting our AI integration to like a world class level.
I see. So tell me more about that. What's the AI integration that you have? What are you using for your AI tools, et cetera?
Yep.
Yeah, super
So
interesting.
yeah, one of our big goals right now is to get better at integrating with LLMs to kind of be at the forefront of that wave. The nice part about our interface is that it solves a really helpful problem in the world of AI, anyways, because the system already has all this information about what problem you're solving, like
Hmm.
built in already. So
I see.
because you're solving the problem on your device, it knows exactly what all the different steps have been that you've completed so far, and there's an algorithm that's already determining what the next step needs to be. And so
Hmm.
we can feed all of that into LLMs in order to give it rich contextual information without forcing the user to type anything in or copy paste and upload stuff.
I see.
So far we have a chat window that can pop up, and immediately when you click it, it'll already upload all of that information
Hmm.
underneath the hood.
Hmm.
What we're trying to work on is going from just a chat window to something
Hmm.
that is more just overlaid on the main interface.
Hmm.
So namely, like our hint system that we have right now, switching that to be something that is being controlled by the LLMs, and then have it be like voice controlled as opposed to being typed out.
Okay. How are you managing the resources between, well, not just, I mean, your time, your partner's time, and then, I mean, you're going through a master's program. You said that already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that, and then maybe even financial resources, like how much do you want to invest in this as well at the same time? I mean, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts there? Yeah.
My current plan for financing is, well, thankfully, because we're both technical, we've been able
Yes.
to be extremely cheap with our expenses,
Sure.
which has been
It's like
nice.
sweat equity, right? You're doing the
Yep.
work. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So the biggest problems that we've had that do require money has been building the Android version, which is a relatively flat cost. That's not terrible because we already have a very well designed iOS version, and then also marketing. But we
I
have
see.
we have a really good uh, we have a really good team of freelancers that we're working with, and they've recently done really well. We've started going viral on Instagram, so
Okay.
and then things like Google
And
Ads.
you're
So
not paying for that. Are you paying for that marketing as well? Are you?
I'm paying for that out of pocket. I was
Okay.
I was somehow able to hold on to some cash even throughout my undergrad. And my current plan is
Mm,
to intern at SpaceX and then use the extra money from that to continue funding our marketing.
I see.
Um,
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna move out. Well, SpaceX is right in my area because I live in Los Angeles, so you know. So they're near me. Well, their headquarters are near me. Yeah. So are you planning on coming here, or I think they have operations there too, right? Yeah.
they have operations all over the place.
Yeah.
They so I've interviewed before for their Starbase location where they're building like their mega rocket.
Hmm.
And so yeah, that's my current plan is in the spring and summer do an
Mm,
internship. I would be able to save at least half of what I get there. That can go straight into marketing, and then
mm.
after hours each day, continue meeting with my co-founder, continue doing the technical work.
I see. Okay. Okay. And do you guys have the wherewithal around how to incorporate AI and some of the tools that are available, for the existing tools for AI and build that into your app as well? You guys have that technical experience around that?
Yeah, well, thankfully, when you are inventing something kind of from scratch, like the interface that we have,
Hmm.
doing things that already have a decent amount of kind of infrastructure built around them, such as
Hmm.
APIs that are fairly decently understood, that stuff has like me building out the AI integration features that we've had so far has been 1% of the time that I've spent on software as a whole. The
Okay.
other 99% has been mostly building out our unique interface that is the thing that we currently have like a patent application for and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I had asked this question before, but I don't know if I got the full answer. So what are things that you struggling with? So it goes to your, is it to your resourcing is the biggest struggle? Is the financials the biggest struggle? Is it, what are you facing? And
Yeah.
how are you going to address it in the next 6 to 12 months? What's your plan?
Yeah. So one of the largest problems is definitely we're running lean with time and money at the same time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
getting stuff done under those constraints is definitely a challenge.
Right.
And then on top of that, it's always a challenge when you're working on like a new interface or any sort of new product,
Mm-hmm.
making sure you have good systems for feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've been doing so far, and what I'm continuing to do this semester, is I will go to calculus classes at my university. Before it was at Minnesota, now it's Texas A&M, and I will just walk directly up to the students, and I will get their phone numbers, and I will have them try it out, and then I meet with them a few weeks later, and I get their input on it. And then nowadays we also have analytics built into the app, and we have the ability for people to report issues, type things in,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always improvements you can make to getting feedback in that manner. So
I see. I see. Okay. And then you guys are using, kind of these, I mean, you're doing this all remotely, right? So you guys are, working on your own laptop and whatnot, and then your partner does the same, and then you collaborate. Is that kind of accurate? Okay.
yeah, with
Okay.
software development,
Yeah.
there's pretty good tools that are already in place for managing multiple people working on things and merging them together.
Right. Right.
We've over time, we've been working on this for 3 years now,
Right.
so
Yeah. Right.
we've gotten very efficient at working together.
Hmm.
There's a like both of us understand really well like who needs to do what in order for the other person to be able to finish a certain task.
Right.
And so we only need to meet like once a week, and we're able to pretty effectively decide on everything that's going to happen for that week.
Hmm. Do you think, let me ask this, do you think some of these hurdles that you talked about, the roadblocks, do you think if you had, some ability to market to more, right, users, right, would that also bring in, kind of, well, solve some of your problems, right? Increase
Yeah,
revenue and, right?
yeah, we're both engineers, and so
Yeah.
marketing as a whole is definitely a challenge to get good
Hmm.
at.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's one of the big things that we're trying to focus on right now.
Right.
Just in the last couple of weeks, so we've made some big strides. Like we were able to get Google Ads working at a very economic cost per install, and then we
Hmm.
also recently started going viral on Instagram. So
Yeah, as you
I'm feeling
mentioned.
better about that, but it's
Right.
it's still definitely a large challenge
Hmm.
that I think a lot of people don't realize. Like you can make software, but getting the word out about it is a completely different challenge, and it is equally as hard as making it in the first place.
Right, right. How many users do you think you need to add over the 10,000 you have to kind of get to a better place for Zygos? You guys have done some numbers?
I would say about 100,000 would be a much better just situation for
So
running
10
all those
times the amount
numbers.
that you have today. Right,
Yeah, at
right,
least.
okay.
I mean, with software like this, the with roughly the same product, it can it
Hmm.
can scale to millions. I mean, for us, one thing we have to make sure we keep doing as we grow is expand the content. So there's just a
Right.
larger a larger segment of people that are currently learning math that are able
Okay,
to use it.
okay,
Um,
okay, okay.
but yeah, we have every intention of going to the millions.
Right. That's your long-term goal. Yeah, yeah, got
Yep.
it. Yeah. So basically, do you have I mean, do you guys have a like a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year plan? Have you thought through that yet, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've made up a lot of planning on how exactly we plan to actually solve our problem, which
Hmm.
means that over time our business model will change and shift as we scale because you can only grow so big when you're selling directly to students as a bonus on top of your classes, right? So I've outlined different ways that we could expand our business model to basically just grow the total scope of the market that we're competing inside. So,
Hmm.
first we're competing with other just learning apps,
Right.
learning software, tutoring tools that people are
Right.
using. As we
Right.
grow more, we want to be competing more with the tutoring industry as a whole. And
Hmm.
then as we grow even more, we would want to be able to be like a full-on class that you can take and actually get credit for.
Like an online class, basically,
An
on
online
the app.
class, but
Yeah.
but a big goal of ours is to also expand the scope of online classes and what
Hmm.
types of situations they're actually allowed to be for credit. Because right now
Hmm.
online classes are a very niche market because there's a very small segment of total time that people spend in education where they're even an option, right? It's
Hmm.
like a few classes in college, but only a few colleges really allow it. So we have big plans on wanting to just grow the total scope that the digital world is able to play in
Hmm.
education beyond just being like a very small, like a very small add-on kind of on the side to the system.
I see. And your main target, is it going to be high school level or college? What do you think? What do you mean? Your target, your students, right? For this app. Currently, it sounds like it's high school, right? Am I right? Or
Currently, it's actually both because Calculus One is pretty evenly split between high school and college,
Sure.
anyways.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
of the people that are taking math in college, a huge chunk are Calculus One and then algebra, like college algebra.
Hmm.
So already we're actually covering like a pretty significant chunk of the total people that are learning math in
Population.
college.
Hmm.
So yeah, our short-term priority is just really solidify the coverage over that high school to college level.
Hmm.
But long term, we definitely want to expand to all levels of math and then also covering science, chemistry, biology, that kind of stuff.
And what's your current pricing for the app? And is there a subscription model? I assume there is. Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't looked at
We,
it. I mean, to give full disclosure, I haven't looked on the App Store, but I figured we're going to have this conversation. We'll learn more from you directly.
yep. Yeah, we just started rolling out our subscription model a little over a week ago.
Oh,
So
it's brand
we're
new.
definitely in
Okay.
the learning process on
Hmm.
how we're setting that up. What I chose to do at first was a weekly subscription because I felt that if we're going to cover something like Calculus 1, a lot of people are taking that course over one semester, right?
Hmm.
So they might be discovering it halfway through the semester, in which case they only have about 2 months of the semester left. So I felt like a monthly model, like the total scope of time, you're maybe getting one month of not being on a free trial in before you are like not needing to use it anymore. So we went
Hmm.
with weekly. You do have a free trial, and then it's $3 a week, so that's going to equate to $12 a month. Pretty typical pricing,
Any
I would say.
discounts if you do a monthly plan or a yearly plan if someone wants that? I mean, do you have anything like that or no?
That's definitely one thing we plan on doing. I mean, these things are very easily tweakable.
Right. Right.
So we just started rolling it out, so I just went with a simple week, 1 week at a time. You're paying
And you can
for,
adapt later. I got it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Based on
super. That's one of
feedback, what you
those.
hear back from students, and yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things that is super easy to change over time. Like we can change it without even releasing a new update to the app. We can just
Okay.
press a button on like Apple's website, and we can
All right.
change it for everyone. So
I got it. Got it. And then does the app cost any money? It's free to download.
it's free to download. We have the main interface that is the whole unique thing about Zygos, where you're solving the problems on the screen. That's all still free. The thing that we're making part of the premium model is certain extra things like graphs that are going to appear with each problem, and then our AI integration with
Uh-huh.
LLMs, and then certain topics that would be considered like more advanced. Like I
Hmm.
don't know if you remember from Calculus 1, like U substitution with integrals.
Hmm.
So things like that is what we are.
Vaguely, I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, in the last 3 years, how have you seen your business grow? Like, is it, and let me ask this other question, like, how has it grown? And then, is this Zygos, is this your kind of your, I mean, it's obviously yours, you created, your founder. Do you want this to be your sole, kind of focus going forward? I know you're an engineer, right? So maybe you have other ambitions. I mean, it looks like you want to, in terms of SpaceX, maybe you want to go down that path as a career. What are you thinking?
The the current plan that I want to do is, finish my degree, do a year maybe while still doing Zygos on the side, but being in the industry, because then I can save up a lot of extra money, and then I can use that money for like marketing and stuff,
I see.
especially marketing, because that's one of those things that there's very few ways around it. Um, if Yeah, there's very few ways around needing to spend for that.
Mm,
And also the Android version, continuing
mm,
development on that. That's going to be, that's definitely going to be like a recurring cost.
mm.
And then I would go full time with Zygos. I would say ideally, I am kind of torn between these things. I will do Zygos full time for a couple years, growing it as much as we can, right?
Mm, mm,
Um, I have very large ambitions for where I want it to go, but
mm.
I also do
I
have
mean,
a
you want
lot of
millions
love
of
for the,
users. You said it, right? So your
yeah,
goal is a lot of users, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
I think my goal would probably be build it out to millions of users, um, and start pushing through changes to grow it into these new markets. So again, going from maybe competing only really with learning apps to competing with the tutoring industry as a whole,
mm.
and then onwards from there. Like I would start the work on that, and then I'd probably want to hand it off to my co-founder and go into the space industry.
I see. Okay. Well,
But this is like 5 years after I would be going full time on Zygos.
sure,
So
sure. You really thought it through. This is interesting. Well, listen, I appreciate the time you took and kind of walking me through it. This is it's a really interesting, kind of business that you've created here with the app, and it's been super valuable. And talking to you and kind of sharing you sharing it so openly with this, and I could sense your passion, which is really critical. If you want success, you got to be passionate about it. That is for sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I this all comes from just these very vivid memories that I have as a child of, I was one of those kids that didn't like school that much. I was
Mm,
obviously able to work through it because I'm currently, in a good school learning rocket science, but I
right.
always just didn't like it. And
Mm.
so
The environment, or what about the didn't you like?
well, I was always the kid that even in high school when I was learning biology, chemistry, physics,
Hmm.
I would go to school and then I would go home, and at least with what it felt like, I would go home and then learning would start,
Hmm.
because I was always the type of person that was just absolutely addicted to going on YouTube,
Oh,
and then
like my boy,
and then
like my 9 year old.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
at some point when I was like 14, my YouTube preferences transitioned from like random entertainment to actually like educational content for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Debates and just science education all over the place.
Hmm.
So, to this day, I would say actually over the majority of my knowledge of rocket science came from YouTube when I was 15,
Wow.
despite having
Wow.
finished an undergraduate degree in it. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was always that was always my kind of observation. And I know I was definitely a little bit of an outlier, but I felt like I really wished that it was possible to just have your education be more flexible,
Hmm.
especially just time wise, to be able to really like have these natural market forces. Like YouTube alone, just due to the fact that attention is worth money, has been able to produce high quality educational content in virtually any subject, even at a very advanced level,
Hmm.
right? So this is like my drive is to try to just make the whole system more flexible and able to really take advantage of all the benefits that the internet has given us
Hmm.
to a larger degree.
No, yeah, that's impressive. I like the goal. But Simeon, thank you for your candid conversation you gave us today. And this is I've learned a few things from this call, and I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was fun.